So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello everyone, and just like clockwork, I put the wrong intro, but I'll get the hang of it at some stage. We're back again with a team sheet tantrum, and we'll see. I suppose I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of looking forward more to see what the Liverpool team is like than to see what the Aston Villa team is like. I know that we've had a couple of people who've messaged us since our preview show, wondering if we will see Keenan Davis in the starting lineup. I don't know. I'm not confident that we will. But it's going to be interesting, I think, either way as to what way we end up trying to play this game, but also, as I say, what way Liverpool are going to end up playing it. But Paddy, have you had any come to Jesus moments with your team selections, or what way you think Liverpool are going to line out since we had the preview show?
Not really, no. There's so much at stake for Liverpool. There's so many combinations and permutations that they've got coming up in the coming weeks. I think we wait till 2:00 to pick them and see what they have to offer. We can pick the bones of it then. But for ourselves, I'm not expecting anything extravagant. I'm not expecting to see Keenan Davis from the start. I think we'll be pretty similar to how we lined out last week. I suppose the key question is, do we bring back in Ross Barkley because of his supposed dislike for Liverpool and how well he played against them the last day, or do we stick with Sanson and McGinn? So that's I suppose is the $6 million question. I think we can take it as a given that Trezeguet will start ahead of El Ghazi, but that for me is the burning question for today, is where we go with the midfield.
Yeah, look, that's really what we're looking at. There's not going to be a change to this back four. There just won't. Barring late injuries, barring late drama, there's not going to be a change to this back four. We only have one striker, so it's very easy to game plan for our one striker. Well, not game plan for him in a negative way, if you know what I mean, but we know that Ollie Watkins is going to be starting up front, unless, as we say, there is some massive change of heart from Dean Smith, change of formation, change of heart, change of absolutely everything that we've seen from him over the last 2 years with Aston Villa. So, as I say, realistically, we are looking to see what kind of setup it is in midfield between the midfield three. I myself don't expect to see a 4-4-2. There could be a 4-4-2, but I just don't expect to see it, and that's why we do these, because last week's one was quite interesting because, as I said before, I didn't know that Jack wasn't going to be starting. I didn't even see any of the rumors, so it was a genuine jaw-dropping moment for me. I would be very surprised if we have any kind of drama in this one, but it will be interesting to look through the Liverpool team and see maybe where they're looking to attack us, or maybe what their mindset is going into this game. I've seen it written more than once or twice over the last 24 hours that this will be a wounded Liverpool team. What do you make of that, Paddy? Is there such thing as a Liverpool team that isn't wounded in the fact that, like, professional footballers go out to win games as professionals? Is that a thing anymore about being wounded?
Oh, it is. It is. I think it's bred into you from a young age that you use it to motivate players. They will have used it all week. They would have looked back on that 7-2 game, albeit they know that Jack isn't going to be there. I'm sure they knew that well before yesterday's press conference. But they're wounded. But they've had 30 years of being wounded. They've struggled this season, and there's a reason they've struggled. They haven't got that 12th man behind them, and I think that's the mitigating factor in going to Anfield. And we're looking. What are we looking? 92, 93 is the last time since we did a double over them. Why not be using that to motivate our guys? It works both ways of being wounded. So let's give our fans something to cheer about today and go and celebrate. We've already mentioned we've done the double against Arsenal. Why not do it against Liverpool? Why not do it against Everton? It can still be done against a number of teams. So let's do it and enjoy it.
Absolutely. We've had our say on the limited things that we know are actually going to be happening at the moment. Let's see what you guys have to say. Thanks a million to everybody for tuning in. There's, this is fantastic. I love all the comments that are coming in here. If you don't already follow us on YouTube, please give us a follow on YouTube or subscription on YouTube and click on the bell. We'll be going to try and do these for every game, going forward for the rest of the season. So because we love the last one so much. Couple of bits and pieces here. Danielle has popped in. Can feel myself melting down. Already melting down. Yeah, absolutely. I can get that bit of a feel. I'm beginning to get a bit of the jitters myself. Thanks a million. Ben is on. Rob Henry is here. Del Boy back again. Excellent stuff, guys. Thank you so much for your support of the podcast. Everybody who's watching, we really, really appreciate it. Lewis Newman. I'm going to pop this one up, and it's not Villa Liverpool related, but what is the song you love? You use. I love some classics. It's a song by PEG, and it's called Propaganda. You'll be able to find it on it's P.E.G, and it's called Propaganda. Actually, the band reached out to us and said that we can continue using it. But it's actually quite a cool song. So if you want to find it, you can find it there and give them a like. Stream it in one of the services or whatever and share it around the place. They're a sound bunch of lads. We've actually been speaking to them, and I didn't even think that it was a song by an actual band because I got it on a royalty-free streaming service, and it turns out that they're a proper band, and they sound lads as well, and hopefully we will be able to entice them to start following Aston Villa as well on the back of using them as our intro tune. Brendan Townsend, how are you doing? Great to see you here as well. Danielle popped up here as well. Do you not think we better go two up and be more direct? I get their back four system just hasn't been working without Jack. Absolutely fair comments. I think that we absolutely should try it maybe as a change of pace during games, so that we don't, so that it doesn't lead to early on frustration or confusion more so, I think, really for our own players, because conceding early goals, we don't come back from conceding early goals usually. So I think I'm a bit of a fan of staying with what we have and what we know at the moment, and then changing it up mid-game. Does that work? I don't think it's very effective in working during games, but it's definitely worth the try. Starting with two up top against Liverpool, I'm not so sure, but we have games with West Brom, Crystal Palace, and I think we might actually see two up top in one of those two games, especially as we come closer to the end of the season. We might have to go and win one of those games to get towards Europe. So looking forward to it. I would be a fan.
I don't envisage a 4-4-2 by any means, but that's not to say that we won't see Keenan and Ollie in the same team, because we've spoken about it many times that Ollie is used to playing on the wing and does it quite well. So there is an opportunity to maybe mix it up. Today is probably not the day for it. Maybe, as you say, during the game, if we need to freshen it up and do something different, yes. But I think I would like to envisage that maybe against the likes of Crystal Palace, we go with the two of them together just to see how it works for 90 minutes.
I think so too. Lee Smith and Lewis both had similar comments there. It might be a good game for Nakamba to start this one. Personally, I would start Nakamba and Louise in midfield and play John McGinn further forward like they did the last time. I just think that we will need to be a bit more stifling of this Liverpool team regardless of who they play. So yes, I would be a huge fan of that on a personal level. Once again, whether we see it or not, all will be told in 3 minutes time when the team is announced. Daniel Gallagher, thank you so much for listening to the podcast, or watching in, should I say. Can't see a change in formation. Trez for Ghazi, possible midfield change in who's in midfield. Yes, absolutely, as I say. That's going to be the very intriguing part of this. I love this. Dara says that Mane versus Cash and Salah versus Target would be great to watch, and they absolutely will. This is for me. If we are going to win this game as Aston Villa Football Club, we're going to have to. This is where we're going to win the game. Is Salah was obviously, he got the 2 goals against us the last time, but he was in and out of the game. And Mane was very, we were able to corral a lot of our forward players the last time, and that was because we didn't allow them to get down the side of us an awful lot. Going to be huge pieces here. I have a charity bet coming up that I'm going to put money on, and any proceeds will be going to Henry the Brave from this bet. And I might as well tell you guys about it now that I'm going to put a bet on Ollie Watkins to have a header on target and Matty Cash to get booked, because I think Matty Cash is going to leave something early on Mane, and it's going to set a tone for the game that we're not going to Anfield to be bullied. And as I say, it's all for good cause. Not Mane getting a boot up the hole or anything like that is a good thing. I don't condone that, but if it wins me money for Henry the Brave, I will. I'll be absolutely delighted. Who else do we have here? Rob Henry asks, can Smith outsmart Klopp again? I hope so. I hope so. Absolutely.
He's not got out to lose anyway, that's for sure. He'll be set up to hope to go and win the game and try and catch them on the hop after a pretty poor performance in midweek. But there's no reason why he can't. I think this will be tight. I don't think there'll be any team pulling away like we've seen in our under 18s been losing, what was a 5-1. So I don't think there'll be anything like the 7-2 or 5-1s, but we will see goals, and just make sure we score one more than them and we'll be very happy. Yeah,
I think so too. Coming close to the all important team sheets at the moment. And today Smith does not change much. Only change Betrez starting in place of El Ghazi. I think so too. I think so
Possibly,
too.
Yeah.
If I could have put a bet on that for the charity bet, that's what I would have bet on, because I think it would have been buying money. I think it would have absolutely been buying money. So we've hit the team news is out, guys, and I'm just going to try and share it up here on Twitter.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So this is yet another one where we thought we wouldn't have much to talk about, but we actually will have something to talk about. Here we go, guys. So just sharing it up here on Twitter. So what we have is Martinez and goals, Cash, Konza, Mings, and Target. Just wait for it to buffer here. Douglas Luiz and Akamba with Traore, McGinn, Trezeguet, and Watkins. Look, we said it might happen. We said this is what we would play ourselves, and that's for that to me looks strong. That to me looks like a strong team from Dean Smith, and I'm absolutely delighted for it. You know, I think that's a nice team to lay out. What do you guys think? Makamba starts, no Mane for Darrow Grady says there's no Mane for Liverpool. Let's have a look and see what the Liverpool team is. Let's see here. I don't know what goes on whenever I'm using an external display. If there's any tech heads out there, I'm using an external display for Twitter here to share it up. And whenever I plug in my external display, my internet connection goes through the floor. And there's on a postcard with that one. So Liverpool have Alisson goals, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Phillips and Kabak in goals, in goals. Hopefully there's a couple of handballs that lead to a couple of penalties. Andy Robertson with Fabinho, Milner, Wijnaldum, Salah, Jota, Firmino. Right, that's formidable enough, especially when you have, like, they didn't make as many changes as I thought they would, considering that they have a Champions League semi-final coming. But I didn't think that we would see. I thought we might see someone like a Sheridan Shaqiri in there instead of a Salah. I thought they might rest him. I thought they might rest Jota because of the fact he's only coming back. I thought we might see Oxlade-Chamberlain in there instead, maybe instead of a Wijnaldum or someone like that. But he's came to win. He's came to win. I actually said as well, I thought that maybe Ben Davies might get a shout in the centre half, but he's come to win, and that's an interesting team, and that's a team that's going to need full attention from Aston Villa for sure.
And we've in recent weeks when we were been overrun, we were crying out for Nakamba and Dougie to be in there. It'll be interesting to see how they marshal this midfield, because that ultimately is where the game is going to be won and lost for me. And obviously, if we can keep on top of Diogo Jota, we've got half a chance. He's their main man. He's come back firing on all cylinders. So if we can contain him, as well as stop the midfield, which is obviously set out to do by playing the two boys in there. And who knows, we might catch them on the break. I'm not overly confident, as I said to you during the week. I'd snap your hand off now for a draw. I know that seems a bit pessimistic, but when you look at, it's just bags of talent in there. Even on the bench, the options they have to go and change it. Mane, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Shaqiri, Thiago Alcantara. There's so much talent in there at their disposal. It's actually amazing to see that they're nowhere near Champions League football at this stage. So it's a big game for them. I'm sure they'll think they can get something out of it. James Milner's playing, as you suggested, midweek might be the change that they make. Centre halves can be got at. I think if we can get McGinn anyway close to playing up with Watkins, we'll trouble them. It's getting them there is the problem. But the two guys playing very deep might give him that opportunity to go and express himself a bit more. The two fullbacks speak for themselves, and they've got a world-class goalkeeper in there. Trent hasn't been having the best of times. Trezeguet will no doubt be like a busy bee running around there and getting in his face and upsetting him. So, and plus, if you want someone defending against the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, it's good to have Trezeguet in there because he will do the work back as well.
Absolutely. Couple of comments there from you guys. I'm going to just stop sharing the screen there, and I'm going to bring up a couple of comments. Excuse me. Alberto says he wanted to see Davis start. Glad to see Nakamba is in there. Absolutely. As I say, we spoke about that earlier on, whether we wanted to see him start. I think probably this game was one game too far for him. I think maybe we might see him we will see him, I think, in future games, provided that we don't see Wesley. But I think it's more so, will we see 4-4-2, or will we see will we continue to see the formation that we have? Darrell Grady just let the cat out of the bag that he's a mole in here from Liverpool. We could have done with 3 keepers at Villa Park. Yeah, absolutely could have. Yeah, when I said that Phillips and Kabak were going to be in goals. Lewis says the Gladsmith make changes, solid back four and strong holding too. Keep Supergiant up front with Watkins. Keep Supergiant again and Watkins forward and give them something to keep an eye on. I think that's a smart tactic as well, especially with the fact that you just can't tire out them again. That's a tactic in itself, to have that nuisance up there. And as I've said before, McGinn won't stop himself from tracking back as well. But I think what it will do is that he'll track back so far and still be that outlet to bring the ball forward. Last game we played, he drove forward with the ball early on. He got defenders turned. I know we didn't get much luck out of it, but I'm a big fan of that, and I think we need to see that as well. We have this from Lee Smith. Trez earned his pace, and I think Nakamba breaking up play is right. Hopefully, this allows McGinn to be a nuisance in a more forward position. Exactly, 100% my thoughts on this as well. He can be the proverbial fly in the ointment up there and help out Ollie Watkins. David asked, do you think Davis will be given 30 minutes today? His physicality could be important today.
I'll take that one. I think it'll depend on how the game pans out. It depends on where we are on 60 minutes. If we're ahead, I don't see, or within touching distance, I don't see that being made. I think if you said to Dean Smith to come out of this with a 0-0 draw, he'll take it. So it completely comes down to where we'll be after 60 minutes. I think if we're behind, I think we'll see Davis in there all right, considering the game he had last weekend.
I have a stat. I'm just trying to bring it up so that I don't get it wrong. So in case anybody is wondering, going, what's this fella doing? Is he on Just Eat trying to get something delivered before the match or something? No, I was just trying to get a statistic. Keenan Davis has played 17 times. He's played over 20 minutes 17 times for Aston Villa in the Premier. Actually, I don't know whether it's the Premier League. It doesn't say here. In those 17 times, Villa have scored 16 goals. So it's a completely irrelevant stat when you think about it. I just thought it was interesting that the more minutes he has, the more time he has to tire people out, or maybe the fact if you only give him 5-10 minutes, he doesn't have time to impact the game. Look, he's not going to be that goal scorer. We're not saying from that point of view, but you see what he did against Fulham when he came on, just an extra big body up there. People have to front up to him. They have to get close to him. They have to deal with him in the air. They have to deal with just a bigger body, and it gives people chances to run in at the back post and so on. I think it's I think that's something to I suppose to be wary of. But it was an interesting stat when I saw on it that 17 times he's played over 20 minutes, and in those 17 games Villa have scored 16 goals. So look, why not? I always hark back to the League Cup final last year. Nothing was happening for us in that game, and the next thing, Keenan Davis comes on and they played him on the wing, and Samatta got the goal, and we looked like we were up for it again. And I think, if I remember rightly, did Davis nearly score in that game as well? I think he someone hit the post, but I think Davis had a chance. And look, he's not the most blessed finisher in the world, but he came in, he put himself about in Wembley Stadium at a cup final. And look, as I say, he's not the savior, he's not the second coming, but he can do a job for us, I think, if he's brought on. Delboy 69 has this one. This is one game where Trevor Nice leaves the flicks in his dressing room. Just play to your strengths. I absolutely agree. I had some defensive stats for him as well. He had the most pressures, the most blocks, and for in the Fulham game. So his defensive game from that point of view he actually had the most pressures and the most blocks on the field, which I was blown away by. I wouldn't have said that watching the game in real time. Also, he created the most shot-creating actions. He had the most shot-creating actions in the team. So going forward and coming back against Fulham was statistically was one of his better performances. Like you, I didn't think I saw that when I watched it in real time. But it was just an interesting statistical piece for him, I think. So, Bertie is getting into it a small bit more. And as I say, I'd be a big fan of him today. He's going to need to be very positionally astute, I think, today as well. Who have we? Daniel Gallagher says, no complaints with the team, but do worry about our attacking play. I think that's fair cop. Yeah, we'll see what we can do against this team.
Yeah, but we haven't scored enough goals since Jack's got injured. So if you take out the 3 goals we scored last week, we've scored very little without Jack. So that is a worry. But we've seen we can mix it up last week. So if needs be, I'm sure we'll mix it up again when the subs come on.
Yeah. Guys, listen, I'm looking here. There was like 54 or 55 people watching at one stage. That's absolutely astounding. Please subscribe on YouTube. Please click the bell as well if you are interested. We will be doing more of these. Thank you so much to everybody for all your support in these. These are a bit of crack. I actually really like them, and I prefer doing these than the previews and the reviews because there's in the moment stuff that we can talk about. And your comments are always fantastic in the lives, so keep the comments coming through. Lewis, you said they think Davis coming off the bench is better, as it will be fresh in defenders' heads from last week. An interesting point on that too is that when a team is playing against a certain system and they've been looking for that system every single training session coming up to the game, and I'm talking about Liverpool here, when you change it and you go 4-4-2, and next thing to deal with somebody else, there can be that initial point of confusion, as I say, because zonal marking becomes different. Who's picking up the man in that instance if there's 2-on-2? So there is a bit of communication. I know the professional footballers, it shouldn't take them a lot of time to assimilate to that, but it does, and you see it quite often. Substitute and a change of formation has an immediate impact in play, especially in international football. And I think, to be honest with you, the way our team plays football is very like an international team. We hit teams on the counter, we're resolute at the back, and we don't commit too many people forward a lot. So I think it will be interesting. I think it will be interesting to see, and it has been interesting, as I said, the last game when Davis came on. Styles make fights, as Sai says, styles make fights, and we can get at the back four. Come on, boys. Absolutely. Love it. I don't know, Paddy, have you anything else to say? Anything else to go through from the team?
No, look, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little bit apprehensive all day. Now that the team is out, we know what we're up against. We know what we have. Sun is shining here. You can probably see I'm squinting at the screen here all of a sudden. So I think there might be a couple of cans opened later on today, and hopefully they're celebration cans, and we'll be celebrating 3 points. But I'm not overly optimistic. As I said, I'll take the draw. I'd settle for a really decent performance today and push us on to the end of the season. But we don't like saying free hit, but it's a free hit. Let's have a bloody good go off them. I'd rather lose 3-0 and have a go than lose 1-0 and do nothing. So exactly. Hopefully they'll have a go off them.
Guys, as well, a public service announcement. If you're opening cans later on and you're a fan of Guinness, okay, do not get caught like I did yesterday. This is a can that I bought last week. It is a 500 milliliter can. Last night, I bought 8 cans. They were only 440 milliliters. Please read the back of your cans of Guinness and do not feel cheated like I did last night. Public service announcement. Don't say I never do anything for you guys, because let's just say it's a shame. I feel tricked. But anyway, that's beside the point. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up. Hit the bell. We'll be doing more of these, as I say. Really appreciate everything you do for the show. Go follow the podcast as well if you aren't following the audio version. Give us a like on Twitter. Paddy's at Paddy. I'm at Love McGrath Pod. We'll be back with you after the game as well. Thanks a million, guys, for everything you do. Absolutely appreciate everything. And just do a super game. And up the Villa.
Up the Villa.